This is exactly as to how I'm going to be monetizing, thus my expertise is for my video editing and audio layering, and also as to how to use your platforms, and also pretty much beat thus the cap of the 5,000 followers in which thus you can only accumulate. If people want to know how to really get over the algorithm, it's simple. You send out a bunch of fucking friend requests while you have your fucking profile under the business fucking motto, and you go ahead and send out friend requests. If they accept it, they pretty much count it as your followers. And if you have multiple accounts, right, you can actually stack up and link your original profile to each and every profile. That way, whenever you send out those friend requests, you actually increase the chances of them thus being added to your follower count, based upon the content in which thus you have in order to share, and any sort of branding which thus you can do. I can do logo design. In fact, I have designed logos for repair companies, delved into spiritual elements and actually initiations in which thus are conducted for a few people. And I've used my divinatory practices for some cold cases. In fact, one of them, I actually managed to help out one client, in which thus I managed to speak something out in which thus they shouldn't have known, and their intuition actually led them to an answer as to how and who pretty much participate within the case in which thus I mentioned. All these services, right, can thus be allocated, and I can actually even cut down the price so fucking heavily, right, that even the others can't even catch up. Have you ever encountered spell workings that be over $200 and all these things? Pretty much 1/10 of the cost of your car, especially if it's a shitty fucking brand car. It's like, instead of that, why not have methods in order to be able to allocate these practices within your own life, okay? In terms of being able to point your attention towards the very seat in which is thus impressing upon your own filling body, so that way it may thus express thus qualities in which thus you want to exert. Energies bounce around, okay? Whatever you're exerting within, whatever you're impressing within, you're going to be exerting upon others. And the more so you do this, the more so they're going to be bouncing these energies back to you, okay? And in terms of physical manifestation of certain spiritual practices, I also go into all of these as well. And personal training, I do go into in terms of learning how to pretty much change functions of the body, and also see the functions of the body behind training and behind dietary fucking means in which is thus provided. Everybody's body works differently. We're not made all the same, as they quote unquote say, all right? And in fact, I plan on offering all the knowledge as to how I managed to make all my content with no money spent whatsoever on any of the apps in which thus I'm using, no premiums, nothing. In fact, I'm planning on putting it all in my Patreon account. All you have to do is thus pay for the monthly fee for 1 month, and then fucking watch all the vids as to how to do it yourself. That way you don't need to depend upon any other platform designers or any other logo designers, anything of these particular sorts. You would already have the knowledge as to how to build up your platforms, and also as to how to make it eye-catching and pretty much fit your own style, fit your own aesthetic, as to what you're branding and as to what your logo is supposed to represent, as to what it's supposed to mean. And this you can actually induce and just pretty much pay for monthly for 1 month, then go ahead and leave the subscription. Now granted, of course I'd be posting more things on Patreon. You can happily thus pay for 1 month and then leave, and have knowledge and tools in order to build up and allocate. Now, I do plan as well on doing monthly rituals for my supporters, those of whom have been pretty much supporting me either through gifts, through finances, and through any other allocation in which thus they have provided means in which I can build up my content and actually use the funds in which thus I gather in order to further expand my content. All the funds in which is thus gathered over here is going to be allocated only towards my business endeavors. It's not going to be allocated towards my personal fulfillment, my personal care. The idea itself of using monetary is so that way it could get my business up and running. I'm already getting wealth from all the other things, collaborations, gifts, and other people, associations. I'm already getting wealth through those measures, so I'm using monetary just strictly for business. In fact, I can even use my spiritual practices for fucking sports. If you ever heard about that one fucking football player that had a wife as a witch, and which thus used her shit to pretty much aid in terms of the fandom and thus the performance of her own fucking husband, in which I forgot that fucking football player's name, but he was a Super Bowl fucking winner, which has a Super Bowl ring, and actually participated and actually won it. I'm also a filmmaker as well. There's actually 2 short films in which I managed to publish, only with me and only with the story behind it and what I'm pretty much conveying through either spiritual practices or through personal training in terms of physical elements concerning those your own exertions and as to how you should go about it in terms of making it a habit, okay? In terms of making it something in which it helps you instead of thus drains you. Something in which is not a task in which thus you got to constantly focus on, but a task in which thus helps you be at ease of mind for thus the rest of your day, okay? It shouldn't be something in which thus you're straining to think about and pretty much not liking the idea of doing.